Welcome to Town Hall. Charlie Madigan, could you get us going, please?
The Town of Orangetown, this is the regular town board meeting. This is Tuesday, January 13th. The year is 2015. And on a roll call, Councilman Troy. Present. Councilman Divney. Here. Councilman Moore. Here. Councilman Valentine. Here. Supervisor Stewart.
Here.
Mrs. Larkin, would you please start us off with the Pledge of Allegiance?
Thank you so much, Eileen, for that, and Charlie for getting us started. Welcome to Town Hall on this chilly evening. The agenda tonight, although there's many very important things on it, for the most part they're sort of housekeeping type of items. And I was planning on asking for a brief executive session when we're finished because we've had some labor-related sort of legal questions in the labor management that we need to talk about. So, without further ado, I have 4 people who've signed in to speak in the public comment period. Can I make a motion to open public comment? Can I have a second? Second from Divney. All in favor say aye. Aye. The ayes have it. Public comment is open. We'll go with the folks on the list. If there's anybody else here by a raise of hands who would like to make a comment, please feel free to raise your hand after we've given the folks who signed in a chance to speak. Mrs. Joanne Coffey Fasulo.
And Happy New Year's.
Good evening to you.
I'm here tonight as a concerned taxpayer, requesting that the board have a special town board meeting or a workshop to address our tax bills. We, the taxpayers, have been asking for years now for a better breakdown of our bills. And as of last year, the only breakout that has been provided has been the county separating out the Medicaid charges. Number one, if Orangetown tax levy for Medicaid went down from 68.3 down to 68.1, which made it a negative 0.2 increase from last year, decrease, then can somebody please explain why the amount we have to pay went up by 5.75%? By the way, Medicaid is the second largest line item on our tax bill. We don't need breakouts that are there. I don't need to know that Rockland County solid waste, a charge that's under $50 a unit, is one line item, and then another line item for Rockland County solid waste again, also under $50, and then a Rockland County transfer station, again under $50. What I want to know and what I want to see in these breakdowns is on the line items, I want to know under like townwide services, okay? I want to know the total levy, what the line item, that's a line item that yo-yos back and forth from one year to the other. For example, last year, it was a negative 13.8 in the amount of change, the total change in the figure. This year, it's a positive 18.3%. What I would like to see in the breakdown or an explanation is, 1, the amount of each service, 2, the salary amounts for each of the services, 3, health care amounts for each of the services, 4, pension for amounts for each of the services, 5, if applicable, pension replenishments if for losses. Okay, I would like to see that same breakdown for town and Nyack Police, which is the largest line item on our tax bill. Would there maybe just be one answer? Could I get an answer tonight on the Medicaid by any chance? How did a lot of people leave Orangetown and move to Florida? I know we're leaving left and right from New York and New Jersey and going to Florida. How can a tax levy go down for the town And where's the 2% property tax cap? It's 5.75%.
Thank you, Mrs. Fasulo. We're going to take the rest of the questions, and then town board members will have a chance to respond. And in the case of how the tax bill is printed, of course, we have our receiver here as well. Yeah, it is fortuitous. Our next up is Mike Mandel.
Good evening, Supervisor Stewart, members of the Town Board. For the record, my name is Michael Mandela, resident of Pearl River. Regarding items 1 and 4, the budget figures and those approved show a decrease of $40,083 for the libraries. Is this an additional savings, or are these the figures that were discussed at previous meetings, or is this an increase in their budget allotment? And if it is an increase, does it in any way affect our 2% cap? Secondly, regarding, and I concur with Ms. Fasulo's comments, I took a look at the tax bills here, and I agree we should combine the Rockland County solid waste and that's a small part of our budget. What I'd like to do is see a breakdown is, since personnel is our largest cost, it would be nice to see what the total salaries are, the total pension and health insurance cost, and then on those two items, the total paid by the town and the total paid through employee contributions. That would give us a better idea of our taxes. Now, also, I'm bringing up Medicaid, too. I mean, our tax levy went down minus 0.02%. However, my amount that I'm paying went up 5.75. It's really 5.748, but we'll round it out. And that's $50. So has Orangetown lost population, or are we giving more special groups designations, thereby leaving those who are left to pick up the difference? It doesn't make sense. If there's a reduction, and I don't see a mass exodus from this town that they're ripping down buildings all over, I see they're putting up buildings here and there, and if they are, why would we be paying more? It does not make sense. It does not compute. So I'd like to see those things, and I think it would make a bigger difference in the way our taxes are seen by the residents, and we'll know what we're paying for, because these are not small amounts anymore. These are large amounts that we're paying. And I'm just about at 5,000, so on this, not counting the school taxes. So I think we should be able to tell us exactly what we're paying for. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mandel. Eileen Larkin?
Good evening, members of the board. I'm here to ask whether or not the Orangetown Cable Committee could be reactivated, or perhaps it does exist, I'm not too sure. For those of you who have Cablevision, there was a note sent with our last bill saying that the monthly sports and broadcast TV surcharge will go from $4.98 to $6 a month. I don't use that channel, and yet, I'm a senior living on a very limited income, and I cannot get that channel removed without losing the channels that I really love to watch. So I feel that this company has a way of, doing a survey to know what program channels people watch. And also the cable box fee has gone up 85 cents from $6.71 to $7.56 for each box that you have in your home. And anyway, I would like to, if maybe the cable committee could be set up again, we can look into these charges that Cablevision has added to our monthly costs. I also would like to know whether or not the town of Orangetown put in for any monies from the state, the monies that came about as a result of the bank's lawsuits. I think Haverstor got money. I was wondering if Orangetown had applied for any, or will we have an opportunity to apply for some of that money. We do have two gentlemen, a law firm up in Albany, and I think they should have been on top of this. And I'd also like to mention a kind of a sad thing that happened to me recently. I lost my dog. My beautiful Liffey girl passed away on December 19th. I had adopted her from High Tor 10 years ago, and she's very much a big loss to us and to me. And when she died, I had to, she died in the vet's office, and I had to make a decision whether or not to cremate her or to bury her. I could not cremate her. So she's buried. And I recommend that in Orangetown, there's a Hartsdale Canine Cemetery. It's a pet cemetery. And there's also a beautiful one in Marwar, New Jersey. And so I offer a suggestion, and some people might say, there she goes again. But as a use a use on the RPC site, some of the property be set aside for a memorial park for pets. It would be privately run. It would not impose a hardship on the Orangetown, on the Pearl River School District. It would not use any of our municipal services. And if any of you have ever gone to a memorial park for a pet, you'll see that people really do have a deep respect and a great love for their pets. And it's a passive park, it's a place for people to go and visit. The RPC site has been lingering now for a long time. I offer this as a suggestion. I am definitely very sad about losing my dog.
Sorry about that.
Thank you. And I just thought in her passing that maybe something good could come out of this. And I just offer it as a thought.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, and sorry for your loss.
The cable committee is something that maybe this year we could reactivate. Thank you.
And I guess that comes with a willingness to volunteer as well, I'm sure.
I just volunteered for the environmental committee.
Great. Couldn't do without you. The next up is Gina DiMarcico. How you doing, Gina?
Good evening.
You can actually pick up that microphone and lower it if you want.
We're here tonight to voice our concern over a recent request by OMM Soccer League to buy field time at Tappan Zee High School turf field. I'm aware that OMM previously presented to the town board a proposal to obtain additional field time due to the increasing enrollment of players. They were already denied this request by athletic director of Tappan Zee and have now brought their proposal to the school board. If this request is approved, hundreds of athletes from elementary school through high school level over the span of various sports programs will be greatly affected. I was a coach for OMM, served as vice president of Palisades Spark Hill Baseball League, and am now a team mom for Tappan Zee Youth Lacrosse Program, a program for which I feel very impassioned. This program builds confidence, team building, a sense of brotherhood, and is a feeder program into the Tappan Zee High School Lacrosse Program. A few weeks ago, I was informed that the future of our program may be in jeopardy, along with the Tappan Zee High School athletic program in general, due to a proposal for field time by OMM, a private sports program. While I do absolutely support OMM soccer program, I'm aware that they have usage of fields at their own complex, Veterans Park, DeMiola Field, and Kennedy Reedy. Tappan Zee sports program only uses Tappan Zee High School. It's come to my attention that OMM has proposed to purchase field time at Tappan Zee High School Monday through Thursday from 6 p.m. on, as well as Sundays. If this request is granted, our youth program will have nowhere to practice or play. In addition to the several high school teams on the modified, JV, and varsity levels having their games and practices affected. OMM is a private organization who does accept kids from all over. As a coach for OMM, I had children from New Jersey, Nanuet, etc. Tappan Zee Lacrosse is specifically for students of the South Orangetown School District and should not be limited to public school field time because of a private organization. Many parents are very upset over this situation. School taxes are paid to maintain fields for scholastic sports programs, as these programs should have priority to the fields. Our district building and grounds crew maintain the fields, town employees do not. If this proposal is accepted, hundreds of children will be affected. Please consider our school children in this matter and not the minimal monetary benefits that OMM is offering for the field time. I just wanted you to be aware of the other side of the situation because I know OMM did approach you, in the past. Thank you.
We have nothing to do with the school district for
I
South
understand.
Orangetown.
We are going to the board meeting as well, but I do know that OMM brought a proposal here a few months ago from what I was told, so I just wanted to,
No, I'm just
give the
saying
other
that-
side.
I mean, we have nothing to do with their field usage.
Gina, what they were here for was not about the high school fields. It
Okay.
was about their complex.
Their
And
complex.
another soccer group vying for time on
Yes.
those fields.
Okay.
So we actually have absolutely nothing to do with the high school.
Okay. And
So you gotta
because
go to
of
the
that,
school
they were
board.
coming
Right.
to the high school, so, okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks so much, and we appreciate the information about that. Are there any, by raise of hands, is anybody else here to speak during the public comment period? Heather Hurley? I'm sorry, I saw that hand up over there. Thanks. Yep. Ms. Hurley?
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Just a couple of things. On behalf of the Orangetown residents, we are again requesting that zoning board minutes, if there's anyone that could please respond, that they be posted from the zoning board meeting from November 19th. There are minutes from the Anelotech portion of that meeting which are not posted online. We feel that the public has a right to see these minutes before the continuance meeting on January 21st. This is an issue which is receiving a lot of attention from both local officials and concerned residents, and the public has a right to see what those minutes addressed before the continuance. We've been told that the minutes are not posted because it's not the policy, because a decision was not made, but we're just wondering why there's such resistance to a simple request. Also, if there are people that are who may be homebound, the elderly, or people who cannot physically attend these meetings, do they not have the right to know why a decision was not rendered at this meeting? We also would like to thank the board for voting, this is what I've heard, to vote on a third-party independent, an independent third party to conduct a study regarding Anelotech. We please urge that some issues are addressed with the third party, and we're wondering if there may be some sort of forum that the public can submit questions to that third party that they can address as well, in terms of their biomass that they're talking about, and if they could please also focus on whether or not the biomass that is being described, if it will contain glyphosate, which is a pesticide. The company is saying that they're using biomass such as corn stover, bagasse, sawdust, and it wasn't clear that the CEO of their company on December 18th answered that question. And in an email with the public relations person, Jeff Johnston, who is working with Anelotech, he stated in an email that my question was a very good one, and frankly, that question has not been asked before. And if it's not been asked before, then we are wondering how can they be so sure that the vapors from any particular pesticide, specifically glyphosate, which is a very toxic chemical, how are they so sure that it's completely incinerated in their process? So we please ask that that question be addressed with the independent third party, and that they do due diligence in their study. And just quickly, just wanted to thank Andy for having the Akabor minutes posted online finally, because they were also not posted from that Anelotech appearance on November 20th. So thank you, and thank you for also addressing, having the continuance meeting that's going to be held here to be recorded and televised. And just looking, I just wanted to address the chair situation, because counting now, it looks like there will not be enough chairs with the RSVPs that Stop Anelotech on Facebook has already gotten. So right now we have 77 or 78, but if you could please make sure there's adequate seating in the hallway set up as well, so that people are, aren't forced to leave because
Thank
they can't
you.
sit down.
Yep, that's already planned.
Okay,
I
thank
spoke
you.
with Eric Gorton about it. He's bringing extra chairs over. Thanks for those comments. Is there anybody else by a raise of hands who wants to speak tonight? Yes, Mr. Morgan?
evening, Watson Morgan from Blauvelt. How are you guys tonight? Hello?
We're listening.
Okay. The first I heard of the OMM, which I understand that this is one group, the school board's another group, and I probably will go over to the school board. But maybe this good body could talk to the STEDGE organization, and maybe if they've got a lot of money to spread around, maybe they could rent or lease and create more fields over at the STEDGE property, because they haven't done anything in 10 years. And this might be an opportunity for a little bit of development and maybe raise some more taxes from the STEDGE property, maybe encourage him to build a dome like Nyack College. That would be something that would make good sense. I don't think we should be putting any more money. I don't think we should be putting any money into the property. Actually, if they're a money-making organization, I think they should pay us rent to use our property, because I think we could use revenue from any source. And I think that even though they built a building, I think maybe they should participate in giving us some money. Maybe we should look into renegotiating our program with that organization, since that's a big park and probably has great value. As far as the program for the meeting at the 21st with the board, I'll probably be over there. I spent 30 years in working with chemicals and such, and also I don't think that they tore it apart because they're not using it, but I worked for Becton Dickinson over on Mountain View Avenue in Orangeburg, and we had a special room for hazardous chemicals that we stored, and we stored enough that of waste and finished product that we had to store in this particular area, and we had quantities that were over the limit, and it's not that much that creates a burden for the over the limit. But looking at their drawings, you have to contain. There's a lot of swales that they created that goes into outdoor swales, because that stuff is volatile chemicals. So I think there's a lot of stuff that they have to do, and I hope that the organization that you've selected is looking into that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Show of hands, anybody else here for public comment? Then I'll make a motion to close the public comment period. Can I have a second over here from Tom Divany? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. I think we should respond, just this is a small group, maybe we can offer a little clarifying information to some of the people who've come in. Number one, on the tax bills, we do have Mr. Simon here, and maybe we'll have him respond in a minute. The tax bill, there's so much information that's available as a download about our budget process and the budget and so on. There's, you all three of you are well aware of that information. What can be printed on the tax bill is a regulated matter. The town may have certain discretion, but it's limited, and maybe Mr. Simon can respond to that. The Orangetown TV cable committee has been dormant, as far as I understand, for many years. But if you have input on that and you want to come in and sit with me, and if the town can advocate on those rate increases in a specific way, I'd like to hear about it. I'm not familiar with how that advocacy takes place, but we do have franchise agreements with the cable companies. I was going to say, just on the soccer thing, and to reiterate what Councilman Divany just said, that whatever it is that OMM may be pursuing with Tappan Zee High School is a private matter, and I don't have any specific information about the position of the school with regard to that. I do know that Orangetown Mighty Midget has spoken with the town, and the town with them on numerous occasions about field allocation issues, and they've obviously invested a lot of time and effort in increasing the amount of soccer fields available. But the TZ High School, if it's a good idea, I'm sure the school board will approve it, and if if it isn't in the interest of the students of the school, I'm sure they'll look for some alternative to that. I want to thank Ms. Hurley for all the work she's done on the Inelotech issue. And certainly, we posted a ton of information to the website about that and tried to respond as quickly as possible whenever there's been requests for documents to make it easy for people to get them and not have to come into the building department. And having said that, there's still more information that people want, and sometimes there's past practices or rules that govern how it's disclosed, and so we're working on trying to close those gaps wherever possible. But it's a good thing, and I think I heard Mr. Morgan reference that ZBA meeting as well. But just to reiterate, that meeting is going to be held in this room on January 21st. It'll be televised. It'll end up on YouTube. Anybody can watch it. And the air emissions study, just to clarify the role of the town board in that, the building department can always refer applications out to technical experts. And the role the town board has is to make sure if there's a kind of expertise that the building department doesn't already have an existing relationship with. For example, they do drainage and traffic all the time, but air emissions was a new one. And so John Giardello, the head of the building department, brought it to the town board. The town board said, yes, of course, we need to have the zoning board be able to make, have an agreement with an expert on air emissions. And so the zoning board, as always, is in charge of how that referral is made and what information they derive from it. And we'll all be bringing our questions to them. For my part, obviously there's numerous issues that are of concern to the community, and bit by bit they're coming out. And the zoning board and the planning board are the forums for those matters. I'll leave it at that. I wanted to ask Mr. Simon just to reference the tax bill question, because there is sort of a technical matter as to what can be printed on there. At one point a year or so ago, we talked about trying to kind of include a cover letter that would offer more information about budget priorities, and it was very limited in what we could actually say by state law to include in that envelope. And that's why we posted a lot of information to the website about the town budget to answer kinds of questions about personnel costs.
Well,
and
that
things
is
like
true, Mr. Supervisor. There is certain information which must appear on the bill that is issued, the town and county bill. I know 2 years ago, or last year, they broke out the Medicaid portion of the bill, and unbeknownst to us and other receivers were not aware of this, and we had received many phone calls and many inquiries about that. In fact, the county legislature, the chairman of the legislature, and even the county executive had discussed this. And we as a group, myself and and the 4 other receivers in the county, had thought that this would be changed this year, and that we'd go back to the one line, county and state. But that was not the case. But there's always room for improvement. There's always room to look at the bill and to make recommendations. I, myself, as receiver, have really very little discretion as to what appears on the levy lines, but surely as a group and a collective we can do this, and maybe next year we can point out some of the items that you mentioned on the bill to better clarify, people can understand it. And I know right now it is a little confusing because people do ask about certain items that appear and they're not quite clear on it, but if we can clarify that, then by all means I'll do so.
One of the things we did a year or so ago was we actually posted a document on our website which provided a description of each of the lines on the tax bill. And I would
Like a
appreciate
narrative.
if Ms. Fasulo and Mr. Mandel, if you would just give me in the form of writing or email the specific questions that you listed, because I couldn't write them down accurately enough, and I know there's perhaps certain clarifications needed. And I would be happy to follow up on that and get answers from the receiver, from the assessor. Sometimes people's individual bills are different depending on where you live, so there are a host of questions that I'd like to be able to answer, but I can't do it from memory. So if you could just give that to me in a form of an email, that'd be great.
Would there be any simple explanation on the Medicaid increase if our burden went down? How did the cost go up? Would there
Well,
be any way
yes,
of doing that?
we would be sure. I mean, I could do that through the county if that's so, if I could intervene there too on my part as receiver too.
No, but what I'm trying to say is when you look at
Oh, looking at the bill?
you'll see
Yeah.
that it went from 68.3
Okay.
to 68.1, which is
Mhm.
a 2%
Yes.
decrease. But when you look at our actual income
There's a differential. Yeah, it's up. Yeah,
5.75%.
Right.
that's true. Well,
Well, I would like to be able to get you an answer to that, but I don't want to hazard a guess.
This time.
And so if you could just send me the email and we'll work it around the experts and get you, without guesswork, get you an accurate answer.
in
back
fact, a
again.
couple of years ago, we did do a narrative. We explained, I think, in a one-page letter as to what was on the bill and some of the changes that had been made. I don't know if you recall that, Mr. Sulo. But maybe we can do that again to better explain to the taxpayers in this town exactly how each item is broken out and what they mean in greater detail than what you'd see on the bill, because I know to some people it is confusing, and they do call, they have questions, and I have gone over the bill item by item. Believe me, I've done that before to explain to people, but if we can do this in some type of a narrative, or even include it with the tax bill, possibly, when we send out the bill,
Well,
put
that's
that
what
in
we
with
tried
the
to
bill.
do before.
Yeah, I know. I know, but they're all,
Bob, I know
certain
you
things
said
can have in
by
the bill.
state law, it's stipulated that you have to have certain basic
they'll let-
information, minimum.
Yes.
Somehow the county legislature found a way to further break down the Medicare numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Can you look into, see what leeway a town's going to have to do that?
Sure.
And that obviously, we're not going to give less information. We're going to meet state requirements, or we wouldn't give less anyway.
Yeah.
But what are our options to expand what's on this, basically? what
Okay,
we're
I will,
looking at.
we'll do that myself.
Explanation pages are great. I think they're also looking for the hard, cold
Yeah,
numbers. Of
yeah.
what is it costing us for each item? Sometimes an explanation is very generic and may not say why it's costing them X amount of dollars.
Right.
So if you could take a look at that.
I'll do that,
appreciate
yes,
it.
for sure.
Any other comments or responses by members of the town council? Questions that have come up? All right, thank you very much. Shall we move on with our agenda for the night? We're in a regular town board meeting. There are a number of items to be voted on. And then, of course, next week is a workshop, and so on and so forth. Item number 1 and number 2 and number 3 and number 4 are all library budgets.
These are the numbers that we approved in the 2015 budget, right?
Yes, unless somebody went and changed something. This is coming from the town attorney's department, and it is derived from
So,
the,
Mr. Mandel, these are the numbers that we approved in the budget. These are the numbers that were approved for the 2000, nothing's changed for the library budgets.
No, there's been no change. It's possible that a past version might have had a typo or something. I remember one library sending back an email when I sent this to them saying, oh, there was a,
I'm sure
So-
somebody proofread it before.
so it was proofread.
Are we doing 1 through 4?
Do you want to consolidate 1 through 4 because they're all essentially the same?
Move to consolidate 1 through 4.
Okay, I'll second that.
All right. Move to approve items 1 through 4.
I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Our libraries are funded. Number 5 is the wastewater treatment study. The town board had voted to accept a grant from county sewer for engineering review, but we're being asked to pay for half of the total cost, which is $39,000 or so. And so this resolution reflects that change in the earlier resolution. Paul, would you like to make a motion for this?
I'd like to make a motion to spend 50, or to pay for 50% of the efficiency study.
I will second that motion. Any discussion or questions? Dennis?
First of all, I object to how this was done in the first place, where, Andy, you went up to the county, didn't talk to the town board about the fact that you were, looking for the county to pay for this study. And then what happened is it blew up in your face where two of the Orangetown legislators asked you if you had talked to the town board about getting this paid for by the county. All right, and that's what held this whole thing up. You had promised afterwards that it was going to be free, that the county was paying for this.
At the time, it was.
Well, obviously now it's not.
That's right.
And I'll still vote for it in spite of how you did this. Just don't do that again.
It has been a kind of a long and winding road towards getting this money, and I think that the process by which a resolution by the sewer district kind of winds its way through county government, allows for a lot of room for confusion. Bless you. So I appreciate what you're saying. I wish that it had been clear from the very beginning, but I'm happy to get a match on a study which hopefully will provide some value to the town. So thank you for your support of that, and I certainly will do my best to make sure that we communicate clearly about these things wherever possible. Any other comments or questions about this?
We didn't vote yet.
We didn't vote. I think we're still in discussion mode. Unless there's other comments, we'll have our vote.
No.
Hearing none. On the motion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, the motion carries. Thanks for your support on that. We will have who knows how long it'll take before that resolution makes its way back through the county and they finally get around to it. But we will have a sit-down with our staff and GHD Engineering to scope out the study and try to make sure it's focused on the areas of operations that our staff consider the most important for a little extra
Hopefully, we'll
expertise.
have the support of the Orangetown legislators this time, all three of them.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter for the sewer district at this point. So they'll I think they passed the resolution pending this one, and I appreciate that sentiment, but I think it's as close to a done deal as it can get in this world. Number 6, this is getting ready for the famous Rockland County St. Patrick's Day Parade in Pearl River. There's a resolution here from the Highway Department notifying the board they're getting ready to provide the usual event support in the form of trash barrels, barricades, the painting of the green stripe, and so on. Can I have a motion for this resolution, please? Move from Moore, second over
for
here from
discussion.
Troy.
It's missing, you said as usual, it's missing Porta Sands, which
Does
it
that come from the
normally
Parks
has.
Department?
What's
The
that?
Porta Sands are usually from the Parks Department, right?
I know that, but the resolution goes in at one time. It doesn't,
Okay.
they didn't put it in?
Right. Yep, this one's for the Highway
Yeah, but
Department.
it's not usually, my recollection is it's not usually split out. Most celebration things aren't split out. Okay, here's the highway part, here's the Parks and Rec part. It's all one. So that way there, you end up not missing something because they said, oh gee, well, that second resolution never went in.
We can hold this until we have the ones from Parks and the ones from the police.
want their application and their insurance.
If it's okay with you, Jim, you mind if we bundle these? Yeah, I spoke with Chief Nolte about it. Chief is here, and they've done such a great job providing support for that event, so. Right.
So you want this off?
We're going to pull it.
So we'll, I'm sure have resolutions from the police department and the Parks Department on their services, and we can put it all together. Number 7, this is the extension of the license agreement with the town of Ramapo relating to the use of the firing range. This is from the town attorneys and the police department. I'll make a motion for this. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Second from Divany. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you. Number 8, and as referenced by Ms. Larkin before, is accepting the retirement of Bert Von Worm, a building inspector for many years and a wonderful and valued town employee. And furthermore, thanking Bert for his years of service and his dedication to the town of Orangetown. Can I have a motion for this, please? From Troy, second over here. Valentine, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Number 9 is a list of documents received and filed at the clerk's office, which you can read. I'll make a motion for that. Can I have a second, please? From Divany, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Number 10 is the acceptance of a retirement from George Linderman, Auto Mechanic 1, effective January 23rd. And furthermore, thanking George Linderman for his years of service and dedication to the town of Orangetown. Can I hear a motion for this from Divany? Second.
Second.
Over here from Moore, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Eric, are you posting for this already, or what do you? All right.
I know that John Giardello and Donna are working on the building inspector position as well.
No, I'm just looking at both of them. It's pretty close.
Yeah, they're both taking in the
Within
next week or
10,
so.
11 days, so.
Number 11 is the annual contract with Candle. It describes the services briefly for the calendar year 2015, providing drug awareness and other services to the residents of Orangetown, which services the town otherwise would have to provide in some similar manner at a cost to the town of $30,482.50. I'll make a motion for that. Can I have a second, please? Second from Troy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Number 12 relates to the Annual Association of Towns Conference in Manhattan on February 15th through 18th. We're having a resolution noting the town employees who are planning on attending and that there is a modest conference cost related to this. And so far, we've got myself, Robert Simon, John Giardello, John Edwards, Teresa Kenny, Dennis Michaels, Denise Sullivan, Robert Magrino, and Richard Piccola. If there are any others planning on attending, we can certainly do another resolution. Charlie, are you going down there? Because I thought I saw you there before. No?
No,
Okay.
I thought you got my email.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Kate told me it came in, but I missed it. Great. I'll make a motion for that resolution. Can I have a second, please? Second. Valentine, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. And I will resend the link for that conference.
Yes, please. Thank you.
And certainly, if you can't make it, but you want me to try to pick up presentation materials from a session or something like that, I'll try to do that. I don't go to all of them, but I pick a couple of the good ones. The other matter, which I noted in the beginning, which I wanted to do tonight, is to have a brief executive session coming out of, I know there's been some labor and legal counsel related issues that we need to talk about.
Labor
It's usually one of those.
issues with,
Coming out of the sewer treatment plant,
Okay.
I think, for the most part.
all right.
So if we could spend a few minutes on that, that would be great. Our lawyers asked us to do that. There's a hand up in the back. Is this? I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Mr. Brenner. The entire board?
Just tell them it'll be on the,
On the point?
on the
Yeah,
point.
is this in
It'll be
reference
on-
to the development?
We're gonna have it
point-
on new business next week, Donald. It'll be on new business next week. It'll be under the, it'll be on. Not even new business, it'll be under old.
Well, we're gonna have to put it on the agenda for the
Yeah.
workshop.
It'll be on the agenda.
All right, well, we have to talk about that. I'm not clear on exactly what, I mean, Don is
That's
asking
why he's
for a
asking.
private meeting with the town board in order to talk about
Negotiations.
But I
the
don't,
issues which need to be negotiated,
I don't think we need it.
but I don't know what we need. Anyway,
Well, I guess to maybe talk about his negotiations.
yeah, no, I got that. I'm just saying, in terms of an agenda item for proposed vote,
Well, it would
that
have
would
to
be pending the
discussed.
negotiations. So-
Well,
So, anyway, let's make a date to talk about it, okay? Done? All right, motion for executive session. Do I have- I hear an adjournment in the name of Joseph Sheehan from Pearl River. So in memory of Mr. Sheehan,
Say again.
we had
H-A-N.
So this meeting is adjourned pending coming out of executive session, after which there will be no more public discussion or town board action of any kind. Thank you very much.